Hey, what's happening? How are you doing today? I want to say thank you so much for pressing play on this special bonus edition episode of Podtastic Audio. On these very short bonus episodes, I get straight to the point, cut out all the fluff, and deliver value directly to you. Now, if you have an audience or you're trying to get people to press play on your podcast show, there are three key things that can help you get more people listening to your podcast episodes. Number one, it all starts with the way your show physically looks. Now, I know with an audio podcast, you're saying, well, how do you do that? Just an audio show. Okay. They see you before they actually hear you. What I mean by that is your show artwork, and especially what I'm talking about right now is your episode artwork. Now, episode level artwork is wholly optional. You do not have to do it. It's really up to you if you want to do that. But they will see a really cool visual graphic that you created specifically for that one episode. And based on that, they may decide to push play or not push play. So if you can create graphic artwork that looks enticing, that wants them to press play, think of it like a business and you want people to come into the door. What will be that one thing that you can do to get people to come into your store, your podcast, that is? And the second thing that's also very, very important, probably more important than actually creating the artwork for that episode, is episode titles. How you specifically title your podcast episodes are going to mean the world of difference, whether or not somebody decides to press play on that episode or skip it. If you just merely put the name of your guest and maybe they are an actor or actress, if I don't know who they are, there's no value in it for me personally as a listener. You got to think about the listener. They really only care about themselves. They do not care who that person is unless whatever they're going to say on your show is going to directly affect the listener somehow. It's going to better their life or something. There's got to be a reason why they're going to press play. And if you create an amazing show title that says something amazing, something you cannot not click on that thing. You're like, you got to see that. You're like, wow, I got to press play. I got to hear what this show is about. This episode is about, because this show title, it's speaking to me and it's telling me that if I don't press play, I'm going to miss out on something amazing. That's what you got to do with your show titles. Now, you can play around with words, you can play around with phrases, you can play around, but think of it like, what title would make you press play on that particular episode? What would work for you? Perhaps that might actually help you out. And the third and final thing that I can say to really entice listeners to play your episode, or at least continue listening to that particular episode, is to have some kind of audio hook at the very beginning of that episode. Now, if you do video, you can do a video thing too. Same concept, basically saying is that at the very beginning of the episode, when the person presses play, don't have an ad, don't have a commercial, don't have a long drawn out music that goes on for a minute before anybody says anything. Don't have it be the same, regular intro every single episode. Try this instead. Try saying exactly what that episode is about and why the listener should stick around and continue listening. I started doing this little trick probably maybe 5 or so many episodes ago. I didn't do this either. I would just put something at the beginning and thought it'd be fun and it'd be a fun thing to really listen to. Ever since then, probably 5 episodes ago, I decided to maybe start enhancing the beginning of the podcast by physically telling you what the show is going to be about on this particular episode, and then kind of word it in a way that a little bit of a tease so that the listener hears it and they're like, oh, maybe I got to hear this show because this show is about this and that. And obviously you already hooked them with the artwork you created. And then of course you hook them with the clever title of that particular episode. And then when they actually do press play on that episode and they hear you, not a voiceover artist, not a commercial. They hear you say, hey, welcome to the show. On this episode, we're going to talk about this, this, and that, and it's going to help you do this. Stick around. Let's go. And then you jump right into your episode. So those are my 3 suggestions on how you can hook listeners with your own podcast episodes. Merely than just saying, hey, I have a new episode out and I'm interviewing blank. Why are you interviewing blank? What is it for in it for the listener? The listener really cares about themselves more than anything else you possibly could provide. So happy podcasting, and I'll catch you next time.